Man finds skull at beach. He bursts out crying when he realizes. The sun was blazing hot. Peter felt the sweat trickle down his neck as he made his way down the sandy beach. The waves lapping at his feet were soothing, and he was lost in thought as he walked along the shoreline. Suddenly he spotted something strange in the sand, and he paused to take a closer look. At first he thought it was just a piece of driftwood, but as he got closer he realized that it was something far more intriguing. There was a strange shape poking out of the sand, and he couldn't quite make out what it was. As he drew closer his heart began to race with excitement. Was it a treasure, a long-lost artifact? He couldn't wait to find out. Hey there, Viral Videos here. Before we go on, like this video, smash the subscribe button and click the notification bell. We post the most beautiful, amazing, and scary videos every single day. Let's proceed with the video. He knelt down in the sand, eagerly brushing away the grains to uncover the object beneath. With each passing moment the mystery deepened, and Peter found himself holding his breath as he continued to dig. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, he unearthed the object entirely. Peter's eyes widened with wonder as he gazed upon the strange weathered skull. It was like nothing he had ever seen before, and he couldn't help but marvel at the intricate details etched into the bone. His mind raced with possibilities, and he knew that he had stumbled upon something truly special. With the skull in his hands, the man felt a rush of excitement coursing through his veins. He couldn't wait to find out more about the object and the story behind it. He carefully cradled the skull as he made his way back up the beach, eager to learn more about the incredible discovery he had just made. As Peter gazed down at the mysterious object in his hand, his mind was racing with possibilities. What was this strange thing he had discovered buried in the sand? It was like nothing he had ever seen before, and the intricate details etched into the bone left him in awe. But as he stood there, examining the skull, a sense of unease began to settle over him. What if this was something sinister? What if he had stumbled upon evidence of a crime? His heart began to race, and he felt a cold sweat break out on his forehead. For a moment Peter felt paralyzed with fear. Should he call the authorities? Should he leave the object alone and walk away? He didn't know what to do, and he felt the weight of the decision bearing down on him. As he stood there, lost in thought, Peter felt his emotions taking over. Tears welled up in his eyes as he thought of the potential harm this discovery could cause. He was overwhelmed by the weight of the responsibility that came with finding something so significant. In that moment Peter realized that he couldn't handle this alone. He needed help, guidance, and expertise to understand the true significance of this discovery. With a newfound sense of purpose, Peter wiped away his tears and carefully placed the skull back in the sand. He knew that he had a long journey ahead of him, but he was determined to see it through. With a deep breath, he set off to find the answers he was seeking. As Peter made his way down the beach, his mind was consumed with the mystery of the skull he had discovered. He couldn't shake the feeling of overwhelming emotion that had taken hold of him since he first laid eyes on the object. Every step he took was heavy with the weight of uncertainty and fear. The enormity of the situation had begun to sink in, and Peter felt like he was in over his head. He had no idea what he was dealing with, and the implications of this discovery weighed heavily on his mind. As he walked, Peter's thoughts were a jumbled mess of confusion and fear. He was plagued by the fear that he had stumbled upon something that could cause harm, or worse yet, something that could ruin his life. The weight of the unknown was almost too much for him to bear, and tears began to stream down his face. Once again he felt lost and alone, with no one to turn to for help. But then something inside of Peter shifted. He realized that he couldn't let his fear and uncertainty control him. He had to take action and find answers, even if it meant facing the unknown head-on. With a newfound determination, Peter set off to find someone who could help him make sense of the skull he had discovered. He knew that he needed to find someone who had experience with this kind of thing, someone who could offer guidance and insight. Despite the overwhelming emotions that still lingered within him, Peter felt a glimmer of hope. He knew that he was on the right path, and that with a little bit of help he could unravel the mystery of the strange object that had captured his attention. As Peter sought out someone who could help him unravel the mystery of the skull, he was consumed by his thoughts. The enormity of the situation was weighing heavily on him, and he was still struggling to make sense of it all. But then as he walked along the beach, a sudden realization hit him like a ton of bricks. He knew exactly what he was dealing with. The pieces fell into place, and he couldn't believe how blind he had been before. The skull he had discovered was ancient, a relic of a time long past. It was a piece of history, a window into a world that had been lost to time, and with that realization Peter felt a sense of awe wash over him. He had always been fascinated by history and the mysteries of the past, and now he had stumbled upon something truly extraordinary. He was overwhelmed with a sense of wonder and excitement. For the first time since he had discovered the skull, Peter felt a glimmer of hope. He knew that he could learn from this discovery, that it could teach him things about the world that he had never known before. With renewed determination, Peter set off to find someone who could help him understand the full significance of the skull. He knew that there was still much he didn't know, but he was eager to learn everything he could about this incredible find. As he walked, Peter felt a sense of purpose that he had never experienced before. He knew that he was on the cusp of something incredible, and he was ready to see it through to the end. As Peter delved deeper into the mystery of the ancient skull, he felt a renewed sense of wonder and excitement. The more he learned, the more he realized just how significant his discovery was. He pored over books and journals, seeking out any information he could find about the history of the area where he had found the skull. He talked to experts and scholars, picking their brains for any insight they could offer. With every new piece of information he uncovered, Peter felt his understanding of the world around him expand. He was seeing things in a new light, and it was exhilarating. Despite the long hours and hard work, Peter never lost his sense of wonder. He was like a child exploring a new world filled with endless curiosity and a thirst for knowledge. And as he continued on this journey of discovery, he couldn't help but feel grateful for the strange turn of events that had led him to this point. If he had never stumbled upon that skull on the beach, he never would have experienced this incredible journey. As Peter reflected on everything he had learned, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. He knew that he wanted to share his discovery with the world, to inspire others to seek out their own sense of wonder and curiosity. And so, with a newfound passion, Peter set out to share his story. He wrote articles and gave talks, spreading the word about his incredible discovery and encouraging others to seek out their own moments of awe and wonder. Through it all, the ancient skull remained a constant reminder of the power of curiosity and the endless mysteries that still exist in the world. And for Peter, it was a symbol of hope and possibility, a reminder that even the most unlikely of discoveries can lead to incredible journeys of discovery. As Peter's story gained traction, he found himself becoming somewhat of a minor celebrity. People were fascinated by his tale, and he was invited to speak at conferences and events all over the world. Through it all, Peter never lost sight of the wonder and amazement he had felt when he first stumbled upon the ancient skull. It was a constant reminder of the power of discovery and the endless possibilities that exist in the world. But as the years passed, Peter's focus began to shift. He still loved telling his story and sharing his passion for discovery, but he began to realize that there was more to life than just chasing after the next big discovery. He started a family, and his wife and children quickly became the most important things in his life. He still worked tirelessly to spread his message of wonder and curiosity, but now he did so with a renewed sense of purpose and perspective. And in the end, Peter found the happiness and fulfillment he had been searching for all along. He had discovered the joy of sharing his passion with others, but he had also found the joy of love and family. As he looked back on his journey, Peter felt a sense of gratitude for everything he had experienced. He knew that he had been lucky to have stumbled upon such an incredible discovery, but he also knew that the real joy had come from the journey itself. And so, with a heart full of wonder and gratitude, Peter smiled as he looked out at the world around him. He knew that there were still endless mysteries and possibilities out there just waiting to be discovered, but for now he was content to simply enjoy the happiness and love that surrounded him. What did you think of this story? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, like the video, and subscribe. See you next time.